Beloved, I am writing to you to express my thoughts and concerns about what is happening around the world. Last January, the Taal volcano in the Calabarzon region, Calamba, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, Quezon, erupted resulting in millions of work damage, evacuation of residents nearby, suspension of classes, and shutdown of businesses. As member of Justice, Peace, and Integrity of Creation or GPIC in our school, I have been given the opportunity to participate in a Taal Challenge campaign where the students and professors donate something to the victims. When we were there in the area to give the donations, I was taught how the volcanic eruption destroys the beautiful landscape of the place. But thankful to the continuous relief donations from the people outside Manila, showing their solidarity to the family affected. After some weeks, there has been great news about the coronavirus or COVID-19, a new virus that causes respiratory illness in people and can spread from person to person. The coronavirus attacked the people of China last December 2019 that rapidly spread around the world until today that kills more than 3.77 plus million deaths worldwide, which caused lockdown to affected countries. So people panic to buy their foods, face masks, alcohol, and most especially, the feeling of fear triggers the increase in the number of cases of the people diagnosed from the coronavirus. In the Philippines, government leaders, particularly the Department of Health, are alert. But the coronavirus is strong contagious in the symptoms of cough, fatigue, fever, shortness of breath, and loss the smell, which the government decided to have total lockdown as prevention from the virus since March 12, 2020 up to the present. The government, private agencies, and the church organizations shoulder all the responsibilities on how to make the life of people convenient in time of the pandemic by giving food, water, and some amount of money which came from citizens' income tax of the country. For more than 2 months of staying in my room, writing to you and the whole Christian believers, I feel worried and fearful about our future. The negativity of my being criticizes the systematic structures of social, economic, political, and religious that makes the situation harder to accept. What is surprising is the number of survival cases is higher than the number of deaths caused by the coronavirus. Is a sign that we can control, which give us hope and relief. Let us admit it, the coronavirus is a wake-up call for all of us to live healthily and most especially to grow spiritually. For example, the quarantine experience of staying at home gives us more time to pray, exercise to be healthy, and take care of our family by following preventive measures like social distancing, wearing masks, and using disinfectants or alcohol. Families also spend intimate together. Lockdown's equation that prevents public gatherings like Sunday service helps us increase our faith and hope to God, even more knowing that He will save us from harm, especially this coronavirus. Through fervent prayers and tuning in to religious online worship, we are comforted and continuously grow spiritually. But most of all, I have learned to appreciate and be grateful to all the people who are willing to help and sacrifice their lives to alleviate the fear of coronavirus, especially the health workers, soldiers, peace officers on the streets, our neighbors who give their support, and other volunteers. Thank you so much. The coronavirus pandemic is an unexpected event in our world today. No one knows knows how it begins in details and when it will last, but there is a venue to express our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors using all means of communication in our generation to give importance to our body and soul as a gift from our Creator. The body we receive through our parents at birth is our physical image in the world, which perish when we die, while the spirit in our body is immortal because it is eternal and continues to live freely, which is difficult to comprehend by our mind. The coronavirus is like our body that lives in a certain time and space that destroys the lives of other individuals and vanishes eventually. This brings me into questions. Is this a human-made punishment? To us resulted from our forgetfulness of not taking care of our health and the life that God given us, or it is the second coming of God in the Christian perspective that says the parousia, when there is the unity of our death with the entire creation facing God and the communion of saints. The 252,300 plus death cases updated May 4, 2020 defies that death is a natural phenomenon that we need to accept in our life unexpectedly. The Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 24, verse 36 states, "But concerning the day and hour, no one knows, not even angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father only." So our death is beyond our idea and our time, because only the Creator knows when is our final destiny, except those who die because of their poverty, violence, injustice, war, and accidents. It shows the image of the thief that enters the house at night, from the first letter of Paul to the Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 2. There is an example of human-made punishment of dark death, or the image of hell. Sometimes we harm our little brothers and sisters who physically weak in order to survive and continue living. The symbol of hell, which recorded in our mind from the old teachings of the elders, describes the refined imagery of storm fire, sobbing, and gnashing of teeth, is not from God as a place of punishment for sinners. We experience hell not because God is angry to us, but because of our personal choice of life, which keep us away from God. We isolated, excluded, and alone from the people who fully believe in God. Answering the issue about purgatory based from the article of Robert J. Schroeter, CPPS, in 1985, purgatory is a doctrine of the Western and Eastern Christianity as a state of purification for the dead before the vision of God. As a living person, we help the dying person by our prayers and good works in our present world. In addition, there are 3 biblical pieces of evidence to support the contemporary expression of purgatory, which speaks about making sacrifice to the forgiveness of sins and tested in the fire. We can check in 2 Maccabees, chapter 12, verses 43 to 46, Matthew, chapter 12, verse 32, and 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, verses 10 to 15. Remember our tradition in celebrating All Souls Day every November 1 and during that anniversary in our present calendar. It brings us closer to our faithful departed in praying for their souls, blessing their tombs, offering them flowers and candles, sometimes with food, and believing that they are also praying with us as we continue the journey of our life. Thinking more about our future, the message of St. John in the Gospel, chapter 14, verses 1 to 3, is a consolation in this time of coronavirus pandemic. Do not be troubled. You believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house there are also many rooms, and I go to prepare a place for you. Did I not tell you this? And as I go now to prepare a place for you, I shall come again and take you to me where I am. You also may be. Jesus did not describe in detail our destiny, but he assured us that he prepares many rooms for everybody. Being in communion with all the living, which give us the vision of heaven, when the time to see the face of God, meet all who are gone before us, and experience the everlasting peace and joy of the resurrection of Christ. If we really believe that there is God as the way, the truth, and the life, who overcomes the end of coronavirus, we keep our eyes open and make our hands work together to have a quality life. Quality life in the kingdom of God, which is the central image of hope. We need to relate one another as true brothers and sisters, like how Jesus and God the Father's intimate relationship. Forgive those who hurt us. Have faith that there is a life after death for all our brethren who died because of the coronavirus. And the new life at the end of the crisis will help us to begin our life in the new earth, where a new humankind will participate in the new history in the fullness of life, where we can experience joy, peace, justice, and God all in all. This line, all is well, and the song from the Indian movie, Three Idiots, continues to resonate with my spirit as my mantra every time I experience challenges in my life. The worldwide problem, the coronavirus pandemic, and the shutdown of one of the biggest companies in the Philippines, ABS-CBN network, affect me so much physically as yet theater actor in my own world. Emotionally as a child who grows up watching and listening to their life journey. Spiritually as followers of their advocacy in the service of the Filipino people. And socially who have the rights to be updated, informed, and entertained while facing the coronavirus. I know, while reading this letter, you are also affected by the posts you are sharing to social media and knowing that members of your family are working in that company. Beloved, you are not alone. We are not alone in this world to have negative feelings in our present situation and asking God, why? Why do we need to experience this pandemic? Why ABS-CBN needs to shut down in the middle of the pandemic? Yes, from the beginning of my letter until this time, all is well. As a praise will be my encouraging praise and action of hope. As of now, my only way to stop the negative effect of the coronavirus pandemic is to make sure that I am strong physically, spiritually, emotionally, to follow from the particular to general rules from the authority to prevent from the virus, and be always connected to all my beloved through regular communication via social media. Since last year, when I heard about coronavirus until today, I always remind myself to continue to pray and fast 1 meal a week to offer to my brothers and sisters affected worldwide. Everything is a lockdown, but it does not mean that I cannot do something to myself, to my family, and to the world where I live. Thinking about my work as a person, I already started to be active in the YouTube channel. In the description, join me in my world of arts through dancing, singing, and prayers to remind me and you about the goodness of God who created us. To inspire others to be productive while just staying at home. I pray that all we all work together to prevent the spread of the virus and experience our faith and not fear. For those who are currently suffering COVID-19 will be healed and their families will be comforted. May God's protection be upon us and most especially the medical practitioners, hospital staff, military, and even media reporters. I also ask God for provision to those who are unemployed and that they will put their trust in Him. So be it. Your spiritual brother, and you, Francisco.